Good day to our future accountants, business entrepreneurs, and managers. Once again, welcome to Hasaan Senior High School. I am so glad that you are still part of Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business and Management 1 class. I am still Teacher Manolin B. FABM1, your partner in learning. How are you today, my dear learners? Are you doing good and healthy today? That's great that all of us are doing good and healthy today. Now, are we ready to learn more? Wow, that's amazing that all of us are eager to learn. Before we tackle to our main lesson, let me ask first, what was our previous topic? Yes, very good. Our last topic was about the fundamental accounting equation, which is, yes, asset is equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. With that, we will have our quick drill first. Direction. Identify the pictures if it is an asset, liabilities, and expense. Number 1, house and lot. Very good. House and lot is an asset. Number 2, mobile phone or smartphone. Yes, if the mobile phone or smartphone or cell phone is used for business, like online business or an equipment used to contact their clients or customers, this could be an asset. Cell phone could be an asset. But if cell phone or smartphone is used for personal use or personal benefit, then the smartphone or mobile phone or cell phone will be an expense. Number 3, travels, out-of-town trip, or vacation. Correct. Traveling, out-of-town trip, or having a vacation is an expense. Proceed for number 4, loans. Yes, loan is a liability. Amazing. Having a loan is an obligation. Therefore, obligation is a liability. Now, last number 5. Cash or money. Yes, of course, cash or money is an asset. Bravo, my dear FABM learners. You did a great job on answering our drill. We will now proceed to our new topic. Our topic is all about the 5 major accounts and chart of accounts. This topic is part of Quarter 3, Module 4 of Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business and Management 1. In this lesson, the learner shall able to discuss the 5 major accounts, cite an example of each type of major account, analyze the importance and difference of each major account, and prepare a chart of accounts. There are 5 main types of accounts in accounting, namely asset, liabilities, capital or owner's equity, revenue or income, and then the last one, expense. Though revenues or income and expenses are under owner's equity or capital, they are shown separately because they are the main income statement accounts. So effectively, there are 5 types of accounts. Now, let's continue to watch this video to explore on how each account can be divided into several categories and how important these accounts in making a financial statement. If you miss some topic, just play back this video at your own convenience. 5 types of major accounts. Number 1 is asset. Assets are all the economic resources owned and controlled by the business and are expected for future gain and future benefits. They include property and rights of value owned by the company. Asset has a cash value or can be converted into cash. Ang asset po ay mga mahalagang bagay o kayamanan ng isang individual o company or business na maaaring pagkakakitaan sa hinaharap. May monetary value or cash value na pwedeng ipagpapalit at gawing cash upang kumita o lumikha ng positibong ekonomiya. It also refers to cash, inventory, accounts receivable, buildings, land, or equipment. Assets can be categorized to tangible and intangible. If we say tangible assets are physically entities that the business owns. Ito po yung mga assets na nahahawakan, nasusukat, nabibilang, gaya ng land, buildings, vehicles, equipment, inventory, at iba pa. While intangible assets are things that represent money or value. Ito po yung mga asset na hindi mahalata, hindi mabibilang o makikita, pero may halaga at maaaring pagkakakitaan gaya ng accounts receivables, patents, contracts, and certificates of deposit. There are 2 types of assets also: current assets and non-current assets. If we say current asset, it is a cash or other assets are expected to be sold and consumed or converted to cash within a short period of time, or less than a year or less than 12 months. For example, cash. Cash includes coins, currencies, check or cheque, bank deposits, and other cash items readily available for use in operation of the business. Cash equivalents are short-term investments that are readily converted to known amounts of cash which are subject to an insignificant risk to changes in value. Marketable securities are stocks and bonds purchased by the enterprise and are held for only a short span of time or duration. They are usually purchased when a business has existing cash, like commercial paper, treasury bills, and short-term government bonds with a maturity date less than 3 months. Petty cash fund, the account title for money placed and set aside for petty or small expenses. Accounts receivable refers to open accounts which represent the amount of money owned by the customer to the business. They arises from the business rendering services or selling goods to customers. Sa madaling salita po, kapag si customer or client ay umutang ng goods or services kay business, ang tawag nito sa accounting po ay accounts receivable. So kapag ang customer mo ay umutang sa iyo or sa business mo, ang tawag mo sa account na yun ay accounts receivable. Notes receivable. This represents the amount of money owned by the customers or debtor to the business evidenced by a promissory note. A promissory note is a written and signed promise to pay by the maker to the payee a sum is certain in money on demand at a specified future date. Kapag si client or customer or debtor ay umutang kay business at nagbigay ito ng promissory note, ito ay tinatawag na notes receivable. Inventories. This represents assets held for sale in the ordinary course of business. In the process of production, for sale, or in the form of materials or supplies to be consumed in the production process or in the rendering of services. Unused supplies. This represents supplies which remain unused at the end of the accounting period. Prepaid rent. This refers to an advance payment made by the business to cover for future rental payments. The second type of asset is non-current assets. An asset that is not likely to turn to unrestricted cash within 1 year. It is also referred as a long-term asset. Assets that has a future economic benefit for more than 1 year or more than 12 months. Example of non-current assets are long-term investments, are assets held by an enterprise for the accretion of wealth through capital distribution, such as interest, royalties, dividends, and rentals, for capital appreciation, or for other benefits to the investing enterprise, such as those obtained through trading relationships. Property, plant, and equipment are tangible assets that are held by an enterprise for use in the production or supply of goods or services for administrative purposes. Land, one of the non-current assets, a piece of land or a real estate. Lupa. Ang lupa po ay isa at non-current asset po ito. Dahil ito po ay hindi mauubos o masisira in a short period of time. O kahit ilang daang taon pa ito at kahit ano pa ang gawin sa lupa, gaya ng ito ay gagawing agricultural land. At pagkatapos ng maraming taon, gagawin namang commercial land. Pagkatapos, magiging industrial land. Ang lupa ay mananatili pa ring lupa at hindi rin bumababa o mag-depreciate ang value or halaga nito for a long period of time. The value of land will continue to increase. Another example for non-current asset is building. A structure used to accommodate the office, store, or factory. Ang tindahan o simpleng opisina ng isang business, kahit ito ay hindi matayo, ay isa pa rin itong building. Kung maituturing, dahil ito po ay nag-ooperate or dito po kumikita at pinagkakakitaan po ito ng business. Another is equipment. Any equipment or machines that used to operate the business includes typewriter, air conditioner, calculator, filing cabinet, computer, electric fan, delivery trucks, cell phone, and cars used by the business in its office or factory could be an equipment, gaya po sa negosyo na freighted load or autoload max. One of the equipment used to operate the autoload max or freighted load business ay cellphone to earn money. So, gumagamit po ng cellphone. Kaya ang cellphone po ay magiging store or office equipment or isang bagay na ginagamit to operate a business to generate income and to have a future economic benefit. A specific account title may be used such as office equipment, store equipment, machinery equipment, and delivery or transportation equipment. Ang delivery or transportation equipment naman po ay ito yung mga ginagamit sa pag-deliver or pagka-transport ng mga products and services ng isang company or business gaya ng van, cars, trucks, motorcycle, at iba pang transportation or delivery equipment. And then we have the furniture and fixtures. Includes tables, chairs, carpets, curtains, lamp, and lighting fixtures that used in the company or business to operate. A specific account title may be used such as office furniture and fixtures or store furnitures and fixtures. Second types of major account liabilities. These include the debts or obligations payable to creditors and other outsiders to which your company owes money. Liabilities are one of the three ways in which a business can acquire funding. Sa madaling salita po, ang liabilities po ay obligations, utang at bayarin ng company o business sa ibang tao or ibang negosyante or ibang company. There are two types of liabilities also, current liabilities and non-current liabilities. If we say current liabilities, these are the amounts due to be paid to creditors within a short period of time or less than 1 year or 12 months. One of the example of current liabilities is account payable. Includes debts arising from the purchase of an asset or the acquisition of services on account. Accounts payable po ang tawag sa accounting kapag ang transaction ng isang company o business ay umutang o babayaran ang kanyang utang sa supplier nito. So kapag si business po ang umutang, accounts payable ang tawag. Accounts payable could be cash, ang inutang, or inventory or item ang inutang, or services ang inutang sa ibang company or business. Another one is notes payable. Includes debts arising from the purchase of an asset or the acquisition of services on account evidenced by a promissory note. So kapag si business naman po ay umutang na isang bagay or item or serbisyo gaya ng or cash at nagbigay siya ng promissory note bilang patunay na siya ay magbabayad, ito naman po ay tinatawag na notes payable. Another current liabilities is loan payable. It's a liability to pay the bank or other financing institution arising from funds borrowed by the business from these institutions payable within 12 months or short period of time. So kapag si business o company naman ay umutang sa financial institution, gaya ng mga bangko, ito naman ay na loan payable. Another example of current liabilities is utilities payable. It's an obligation to pay utility companies for services received from them. Examples of this are telephone services, electricity, and water services. In accounting, utilities po ang tawag sa telephone services, electricity, and water services. Hindi po nangangahulugan sa accounting na ang utilities ay isa na pong janitor. Okay? Kaya kapag inutusan kayo ng mama ninyong magbayad ng kuryente sa Sipalco, ang sasabihin niyo ay, "Yes ma, I will pay our utilities payable in Sipalco." Char! Another example is unearned revenue. Represent obligation of the business arising from advance payments received before goods or services are provided to the customer. This will be settled when a certain goods or services are delivered or rendered. So kapag ang customer or clients po ay nagbigay ng advance payment sa goods and services, ang tawag nito sa accounting po ay unearned revenues or unearned income. Dahil nga po, hindi pa po naibigay o na-deliver ni business or company ang binili ng kanilang clients or customers na goods or services. Kasama rin po dito sa unearned income gaya ng interest, income, sales, professional fees, and service income. Another example is accrued liabilities. Include amounts owed to others for expense already incurred but not yet paid. Ito naman po ay ang mga goods and services na na-enjoy na, nagamit na, na-acquired na ng business, ngunit hindi pa nababayaran ang kanilang supplier or may-ari nito. Example of this are salaries payable, utilities payable, taxes payable, rent payable, and interest payable. It has a semblance of payable account. For example, salaries payable. Sweldong hindi pa ibinayad sa kanilang empleyado. It is an accrued liabilities dahil po, for instance, ang empleyado ay nagtatrabaho sa loob ng 30 days, March 1 to March 31, at matatanggap niya ang kanyang sweldo o bayad ng kanyang serbisyo on April 15, 2021. Sa loob ng isang buwan, na-enjoy at natanggap na ni company or business ang services rendered by their employee. Ngunit, hindi pa sila nagbabayad nito. Pagdating sa April 15, 2021, the company will issue payment and it called salary expenses. Ngunit, kapag hindi pa nagbabayad si company kay employee, the account name to be used is accrued salary expense. While on the other hand, non-current liabilities are long-term liabilities or obligations which are payable for a long period more than 1 year or mahigit sa isang taon or 12 months. Example, mortgage payable is a long-term debt of the business with security or collateral in the form of real properties or land. Collateral means po ay mga mahalagang bagay gaya ng real property or land na pwedeng pangahawakan ni creditor o yung nagpapautang while waiting na magbabayad si debtor or yung umutang sa kanya. Bonds payable is another example of non-current liabilities. It is a certificate of indebtedness under the seal of a corporation, specifying the terms of repayment and the rate of interest to be charged. Now we will proceed for the third type of major accounts, which is capital or owner's equity. Capital or owner's equity defines how much your business is currently worth. Owner's equity or capital is an account bearing the name of the owner, representing the original and additional investment of the owner of the business. It is increased by the amount of net income earned during the year and decreased by the cash or other assets withdrawn by the owner, as well as the net loss incurred during the year. Drawing represents the withdrawals made by the owner of the business in cash or other assets. There are two types of equity: contribution or investment, and drawing or withdrawals. Contributions or investments may be start-up capital or a later infusion of cash, while drawing or withdrawals, if a business is profitable, the owners often want some of the profit returned to them. So kapag isang tao po ay pumasok sa business at mag-invest ito ng pera or magpasok ng pera sa business para lumago ang business, tinatawag itong owner's equity or owner's capital. Ngunit kapag si owner ay mag-withdraw or kukuha ng pera or assets sa business for his personal intention, ito ay tatawagin naman na owner's drawing or owner's withdrawal. The fourth types of major accounts is income or revenue. It's money the business earns from selling of products or rendering services or from interest and dividends on marketable securities. Other names of income are revenue, gross income, turnover, and the top line. Net income is computed as revenue less expenses equals net income or profit or net profit. Income accounts are classified as temporary or nominal accounts because their balance is reset to zero at the beginning of each new accounting period. Accounting period may be a calendar year or fiscal year. If we say calendar year, it means from January 1 to December 31, while fiscal year starts and ends at any point during the year as long as it comprises a consecutive of 12 months. In layman's terms, income or revenue refers to any proceeds from services rendered by a servicing firm, income from use of other entities of the resources of the enterprise like royalty income, rent income, interest income, or from sale of merchandise. In income statement account, it includes sales, refers to the earnings made by business that is into selling of goods or merchandise either in cash or account. Sales returns and allowances. This is a reduction from sales accounts for goods that were sold but were returned by the buyer for bad order or not conforming with the order. Sales discount refers to the discount given to buyers for early payment of merchandise purchased on account or payment within the discount terms. This is also a reduction from sales account. Service income or service revenue refers to the earnings or income derived or made by any business from rendering services. Halimbawa po nito ay ang auto repair shop. Ang serbisyo ng isang mekaniko to fix the car gamit ang kanyang skills or ability ay babayaran ni customer. At yun po ay service income or service revenue. Income na natanggap galing sa customer dahil sa serbisyo. In service income, it includes professional income, rental income, interest income, and miscellaneous income. If we say professional income, it is an income earned from the practice of their profession, or may be specified as accounting or auditing fees income for accountants, legal fees income for lawyers, dental fees income for dentists, and medical fees income for doctors and etc. And if we say also rental income, of course, it is an income on buildings, space, or other properties owned and rented out by the business as the main line of its activity. And then interest income for income received by the business arising from an amount of money borrowed by a customer and usually covered by a promissory note. And then miscellaneous income for income earned by the business which is not the main line of its activity and could not be clearly classified. Expenses, the last but not the least of the 5 major types of account. Expenses, these are money the company spend, allow a company to operate. Mga gastusin o ginastos ng business to operate. Like revenue accounts, expenses accounts are temporary accounts. Also, that collect data for one accounting period and are received to zero at the beginning of the next accounting period. A unique type of expense account, depreciation expense, is used when purchasing fixed assets. Costly items such as vehicles, equipment, and computer systems are not expense but are depreciated over the life expectancy of the item. A contra account, accumulated depreciation, is used to offset the asset account for the item. Now are the examples of expense or expenses. Salaries or wages expense include all payments made to employees or workers for rendering services to a company. Ito po ay ang mga sweldo ng mga empleyado o mga nagtatrabaho sa business. Utilities expense is an expense related to the use of electricity, fuel, water, and telecommunication facilities. Supplies expense covers office supplies used by a business in the conduct of its daily operations. Insurance expense is the expired portion of premiums paid on insurance coverage such as premium paid for health or life insurance, motors or others insurance. Depreciation expense is the annual portion of the cost of tangible assets such as buildings, machineries, and equipment charged as expense for the year. And collectible accounts expense or doubtful accounts expense or bad debt expense means the amount of receivables charged as expense for the period because they are estimated estimated to be doubtful of collection. Kadalasan po, ito po ay ang mga utang na hindi nababayaran ni customer or client kay business sa mahabang panahon dahil sa mga maraming dahilan. Gaya na hindi na alam ni business kung saan kita si customer or dahil ito ay nagtatago, pwede rin ito ay nakulong or may malalang sakit or wala talaga siya income na pambayad kay business. Sa ibang company or business, ang bad debts or overdue accounts ay ginagawang expense accounts na lamang po. Pero yung ibang business or company naman, kadalasan sila ay nagsasampa ng kaso against kay customer upang mapilitang magbayad si customer in any aspect. It may be in forms of money, property gaya ng lupa, or services. Another example of expense is interest expenses. It's the amount of money charged to the borrower for the use of borrowed funds. Taxes and licenses. This represents costs incurred to register the business, to acquire the right to operate, and to settle any legal documents. So kapag naman po sa business ay kumukuha ng mga legal documents or permit sa munisipyo upang ito ay maaari na mag-operate, gaya ng mayor's permit, barangay certificate, sanitary permit, police permit, at iba pang documents sa munisipyo, ang expenses sa naturang mga documents ay tatawaging taxes and licenses expenses. Cost of sales. This refers to the cost of merchandise or goods that are sold during a particular accounting period. Repair and maintenance. For expenses incurred in repairing or servicing the buildings, machineries, vehicles, equipment, etc., which are owned by the business. Advertising expenses. This refers to the cost of advertisements or any marketing strategy in order to promote the business. Miscellaneous expenses. Any amount paid as expense which is not significant enough to warrant a particular classification. Gas and oil, transportation, or delivery expenses refers to the gasoline, dieseline, lubricant, grease, fluids, lube oil, and any cost of transportation or delivery in order to operate the business and serve the customer's satisfaction. Now we will have a chart of accounts. Chart of accounts, it is a list of all your company's accounts used and is listed together in one place. The main account types include asset liabilities, owner's equity, income, or revenue, and expenses. With a systematic listing of all accounts that an entity or company uses in its general ledger for recording various business transactions. Chart of accounts provides guidance to bookkeepers, accountants, or other relevant persons in using a specific account name while entering transactions in journal and posting them to ledger, ensuring uniformity and consistency in the use of all the accounts in recording business transactions. Here is a sample of chart of account list. This is a chart of accounts for a fictional business, Ewing Cleaning Supply. For the full image in this chart of accounts, kindly refer to Module 4 on page 9. Companies in different line of business will have different looking chart of accounts. The chart of accounts is assigned to be a map of your business and its various financial parts. A well-designed chart of accounts should separate out all the company's important accounts and make it easy to figure out which transactions are get recorded in which account. That's all our topic for today. Now let's have a quick review. Identification. Identify the statement. Number 1. These are money the company spends that allow a company to operate. Yes, the answer is expenses. These are money the company spends that allow a company to operate. Number 2. These are the economic resources owned by the company and are expected for future gain. Correct! Asset is the answer. Assets are all the economic resources owned by the company and are expected for future gain. Number 3. Defines how much your business is currently worth. Very good. It is owner's equity. That defines how much your business is currently worth. Number 4. These include the debts or obligations payable to creditors and other outsiders to which your company owes money. Impressive! You still remember that it is liabilities. Liabilities include the debts or obligations payable to creditors and other outsiders to which your company owes money. Number 5. Is money the business earns from selling a product or rendering services or from interest and dividends on marketable securities. Bravo! Income is the correct answer. Income is money the business earns from selling a product or rendering services or from the interest and dividends on marketable securities. Yay! We are done with Module 4 of Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business and Management 1. I will now give you the activities on this lesson. On Module 4, first, answer the activity 3 found on page 10 and what I have learned on page 11. And for your final task, do activity 4 on page 12. Here are the references of this video. You are finally done with Module 4. Congratulations! I guess you are now ready to answer for the assessment. Make sure to answer the assessment and additional activities found on pages 13 and 14 in your module. Thank you for joining to this class. We are done for Module 4. Always remember, prefer a loss than a dishonest gain. While one takes the pain at a moment, others for all time to come. By R.M. Lopez Jr. See you on our next video lesson. God bless and keep safe always. Bye-bye!